The Zika virus has been on the tip of everyone's tongue, and of course this does affect what blood donation means for a lot of people. Do you take part? Don't you take part? And do you even qualify? Well, I'm joined in studio by Irene van Skalkwyk from the Western Province Blood Transfusion Service to dispel a few myths about the Zika virus and to find out how it is that you can give blood. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So, I mean, there's been a lot of talk around the Zika virus. We've seen a number of articles about the concerns around it. Can you just tell us, for people who don't know, what is the Zika virus?
Okay, the Zika virus. Zika is an infection transmitted by the Aedes mosquito. So humans get infected when they are bitten by this infected mosquito. And the current epidemic is located mainly in Central America, South America, Mexico and the Caribbean.
All right. So, I mean, we have heard a case that's been here in South Africa. I mean, it is a very singular case, but can you tell us a little bit more about that case and how that really affects us here in South Africa?
Okay, within the blood service, we haven't recorded any case of a person being or disclosing that they've been infected with Zika. But there is one confirmed case of a Colombian businessman who was diagnosed in Johannesburg. And given the travel between South Africa and Zika-infected countries, sporadic infections are likely to occur, but luckily it won't have a big effect on the South African population.
Okay. Now, I mean, if we go down to, traveling, that kind of thing can bring it in. So, I mean, people are giving blood, and also at your service is taking donations and giving out. How is it that you are protecting your donors and the people who get blood from you guys?
Okay, the blood services in South Africa they've instigated a self-deferral policy. So that means that people who have traveled to Zika-infected countries within the last 28 days or who know they've been infected, we ask that they please do not donate blood within those 28 days after returning from those countries.
Now, I mean, I would imagine, obviously, you are depending on the honesty of your donors, but how is it that, once the donation has been given, that you make checks and tests? What happens after that in order to make sure that things like this don't happen?
Okay, unfortunately, we don't have a test for Zika infection, so we really rely on the honesty of donors when they're completing their questionnaire on their personal details and also if they have had a problematic travel history. So the tests we conduct on the blood are mostly for HIV, hepatitis B and C and syphilis.
All right. Now, if you can tell us, what are the symptoms of the virus, just in case you are sitting there and wondering that, you've traveled to these places, what can you expect when thinking about the Zika virus?
Okay, the symptoms of the illness is typically mild symptoms, fever, a rash, joint pain, eye pain. And it's also important to note that only about 1 in every 5 people will experience these symptoms. But the real concern is that the Zika virus have been implicated in microcephaly. So that is where a baby born to a mother infected with the Zika virus is born with an abnormally small head and impaired brain development. And now recently it's also been linked to the Guillain-Barré syndrome, a type of paralysis.
All right. So it would seem that there's obviously a lot of links to, what the Zika virus can do. But as you said at the moment, there is no real concern in the South African population.
No, the epidemic is spread mostly through mosquito infection, not through blood transfusion, and it is not endemic to South Africa.
All right. So can you tell us, when you are thinking of giving blood, what are kind of the questions that you ask and the precautions that you take in making sure that someone is ready and healthy to give blood?
There are a few basic donor acceptance criteria that our donors need to fulfill. Those are being between the ages of 16 and 65, weighing more than 50 kilograms, leading a safe sexually lifestyle, and being in good general health on the day of donation. We also ask that people have eaten a substantial meal within the 3 to 4 hours before donating and that they increase their fluid intake. So those are the basic donor criteria, and then they would complete a confidential questionnaire asking a few more questions.
All right. Now, if you could tell us, Easter is coming up, and I would imagine that, your reserves are going to start to slip a little bit more. Can you let us know how it is that we can find one of your places to give donations and how we can get in contact with you guys?
Yes, I would encourage people to visit our website. It's wpblood.org.za, and they'll find information there on their nearest blood donor clinic, or they can phone us on 021 507 6300.